I worked for the UFC before becoming an agent and helping Francis Ngannou make millions. Now ready to conquer new sports. Marquel Martin is one of the most celebrated agents in MMA. The 37-year-old is credited with helping former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou become a multi-millionaire after leaving MMA's premier promotion. However, Martin didn't grow up wanting to manage athletes. The California native hoped to be one himself and seemed to be on track to make that happen in American football. Injuries plagued his college career, and 4 surgeries later he decided to give up on his dream of playing in the NFL and began focusing on finding the next crop of superstars. I got my master's degree in sports management because I just loved sports and being around it, Martin told TalkSport MMA. There's a certain mental fortitude when it comes to playing sports, and I was fascinated by athletes and their mindset. I knew I wanted to do that. Managing MMA fighters wasn't really on Martin's radar, but he just happened to be working his way through university as a personal stylist and encountered a UFC executive. Between 2012 and 2016, he was a part of Dana White's marketing department. After his 4-year UFC stint, Martin switched sides as he went back to his sports management roots by joining the creative artist agency CAA, where he represented MMA athletes. Martin believes his insider knowledge separated him from potential rivals. Having worked at the UFC, it was in a very unique position, Martin said. Still to this day, I don't believe there's any agent or manager that has also worked at the UFC. At least, I was certainly the first, so that afforded me a different perspective on the business side of representation. Martin's move into athlete representation was a double blow for his former employers, as he didn't just dedicate himself to making fighters more money, but he also signed with the enemy. Endeavor, the company that owns the UFC, is also an agency, and CAA is its bitter rival. The beef famously helped build some of the plot for HBO's hit show Entourage. Martin, who also worked with Georges St-Pierre, Kevin Lee, Khalil Rountree, and Arjun Bhullar, was at the center of Ngannou's contract dispute with the UFC. The Predator spent a year negotiating a new deal with White's promotion before deciding to take his chances as a free agent. It seemed like a massive risk at the time, and even UFC superstar Conor McGregor told Ngannou that he had made a mistake by leaving. Since then, he signed a lucrative MMA deal with FIFL and earned tens of millions for taking back-to-back boxing bouts against former world champions Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. My goal from day one of representing Francis was to help him realize his dreams, Martin explained. When I spoke to him and he mentioned his first dream was to box coming out of Africa. It wasn't to go the UFC leaving Africa in my mind. I'm going to help you box. You're going to live out your dream, and we'll live with the results. I feel very accomplished, and it's extremely gratifying to know I was a part of helping that come to life. Francis is now in a position, and I'm proud to say, where he doesn't have to fight. He can solely focus on other ventures, his family, and take all the time. My work is kind of done for Francis. He can write his own chapter. I want to be an NFL agent. I'm gonna get my certification in the NFL. I'm going to be out of combat sports. Maybe not entirely because that's where I grew up in the business side, but I'll definitely be spreading my wings.